Hello and welcome back to the TLDR News Podcast. I'm Jack Kelly and I'm joined by Ben Blissett.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
It's been a minute.
Good. It has. I don't know, when was the last time we were both on a podcast together?
December at some point?
Yeah.
Probably fairly early December.
Yeah. I think, it's been a very long time. Both been away at different times and God knows what.
Yeah, let's blame that.
It's a secret falling out that no one knows about.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's what it is, yeah.
Oh, why has no one been spreading these rumours?
Have you not checked Twitter recently?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They've not been tagging me, maybe because they think...
No, I blocked you, Jack.
Oh,
you won't see any of it.
Okay, got it. We have a busy episode coming up today.
We do.
Obviously, we're going to start with the underreported story as always. Then we're going to run through some UK government comms situations.
Yeah, it's just, we'll get
some
into this,
weirdness.
It's very odd.
There's some odd stuff going on. And then, as always, we'll end by moving people up and down the board on our world leader leaderboard. Maybe. You'll find out. Let's start with underreported story though, Ben. What have we got this week?
Yeah, so it's underreported just in the sense that I think I find it interesting. It's not underreported in the sense that it's actually all that terribly important. You know, sometimes we do the segment and it's some really important thing, you know, some miscarriage of justice or something like that. This time it's just about space, and I'm always baffled that space stories don't get more attention because they're really exciting. But basically, Japan has had a lunar mission recently. They've become the 5th nation on Earth to actually land something on the moon because of this particular mission. So the lunar lander is called the Smart Lander for Investigating Moon.
Whoa!
Which is one of those ones that is deliberately
Smart Lander for.
Not the 4. The 4 is lowercase.
Smart Lander, not for.
Yeah.
Investigating Moon.
Slim.
Oh, Slim. I don't know why I put a P in there. Slim. That's not even that good.
It's not even that good, no. But it was one of those. Yeah, it's one of those sort of deliberately worded ones. But it landed on Saturday, and it has sort of solar cells on it so that it can recharge. And it sort of landed, but they landed it with it facing the wrong direction, so it was facing west, not towards the sun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't charging enough.
Okay.
So it depleted to 12% battery.
Oh God, already.
And they didn't know what to do. They just switched it off while they figured out what to do.
Great.
So that it's halfway through this mission. And just to be clear, this is like their first lunar mission.
They got it there, to be fair.
They've got it there. But
more than I could do.
It is. It's more than we as a country can do.
True.
So they've been successful with that. Oh, there's going to be some space people that are going to be pissed off.
Space people being like European Space Agency.
Yeah. But have we landed anything? No, we haven't. Anyway,
roast them, Ben. Absolutely drag the European Space Agency. They probably have.
Yeah, they probably have.
No, they probably haven't.
I don't think they have.
Who has? US,
USSR, China, India, I think.
Yeah. Japan, that's fine. Japan. So Europe, up your game.
Yeah. I don't want them against me.
Turned so hostile.
Anyway, I'm really sorry, space people. So they landed it, got to 12%, they decided to turn it off while they figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Can't
they spin it round?
We need, I presume you need, and also they've only got a certain amount of all of that. So anyway,
sure.
But they're saying today that they think that the light conditions might have changed, so it might be able to recharge. So they're going to give updates through the week, and they're going to hopefully finish this mission. I just find it interesting because it's their first mission on the moon. You know, it's not quite gone as planned, but there is still sort of a redemption arc that could be about to take place
for old Slim.
Yeah. So they've promised to give updates through the week. Okay. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah.
Anybody else who is a space nerd that doesn't hate me at the minute, I keep an eye on it too, I guess. But no, it's good. I think it's an interesting story, and I'm hoping that they do turn it around. They that it's successful, that the mission's successful.
We'll see.
We will see.
Chances look slim, but we'll see what happens. It's not good. It's not good.
There you go. I'll give you it.
No one said it's good.
What? Be a downer, but the ESA, the European Space Agency, did conduct a successful one.
No.
Okay, let's run that again. The European Space Agency. They've exceptional work, and they've obviously
Wait,
done
are they one of the 5?
But have they landed it on the moon? So I read today that only 5 nations have landed on the moon.
Okay. Well, did they orbit it?
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count?
Nah. Anyone could orbit. We've all orbited.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the main story then.
Yeah, okay.
After a very successful underreported story, can I say? We haven't annoyed anyone.
No one, no.
The government comms strategy is something that has come to your attention recently. The UK government doing some weird old things.
They've just done some weird shit.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So this all came up because they did an announcement today. So they did this whole thing this morning with WhatsApp where they posted a picture that was all in like a WhatsApp style graphic saying there's more information coming this afternoon and
exciting news.
Big exciting. I think they say it was exciting news or something. So
Jeremy can put it on screen.
There was some speculation about what this news could be, and Rory of TLDR fame,
the Rory Taylor.
Yeah, he speculated this morning that it could be that they'd come to an agreement with WhatsApp that they'd remain operating in the UK because obviously there's been the online safety bill in Parliament which undermines encryption, which means that WhatsApp has been threatening to leave the UK. He thought that maybe they'd come to an agreement.
That would be big news. Oh,
it wasn't that.
That would have been big news though.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought he could have been on something there, and it could have been that. It wasn't that.
Smart thinking from TLDR's Rory Taylor, though.
Very smart thinking from the infamous Rory Taylor. Some polling from YouGov came out yesterday.
At TLDR Rory.
At TLDR Rory. But so instead, it was that the government is now on WhatsApp on the little update section in the middle. So it's kind of
Does anyone look at that? No, have you ever looked at that?
I've never used it.
Should TLDR do one?
Well, audience can tell us.
No, we shouldn't, is the answer.
But no, so they're on that. I don't think it's that interesting. The interesting part here is that the way they announced it this afternoon was then with this sort of TikTok-y style video of a town crier outside Parliament and other buildings announcing the government's on WhatsApp. And it got me thinking, and I sort of scrolled through some of the government Twitter accounts, and they just keep. It's sort of every now and then it comes up and gets in the news, but there's a long enough gap between them that I've never connected the dots of like this is a really strange comm strategy. So I just thought to go through a few of the other weird things they've done. There was a situation last week with Claire Cortino, who's the Energy and Security and Net Zero Minister, where she was driving around with another minister in a car, going to different petrol stations, looking at the petrol prices, and just sort of generically chatting in a car. Which was, it also reminded me of like Grant Shapps, and he did all of his weird train videos a few years ago. There was also that one with the really strange shit meme that Sunak did like in November, I think it was, where they were talking about like potholes, and he had the text that sort of like went into like little bumps, and it was like very Calibri text, like really deliberately.
I've not even seen it, but I hate it.
Deliberately shit. It'll be on screen. It'll be a deliberately shit meme. And all I can think is that they're sort of doing it. This is all sort of a deliberate thing where it's quite bad and they get criticised for it. And it's just to get in the news. And I think they might be one of the first governments to do this, where the strategy isn't to actually do good communications. The strategy is to do communications that's eye-catching and gets criticised and gets mocked, but it gets the message across. So like the really bad memes that they do this all the time. They do these like weird videos. One that I did want to sort of throw in
is this what you're referring to?
Yeah, that exact thing was put on the Prime Minister's Twitter account.
That's dog shit.
No, but but this is what I'm saying.
I know. That's the point, right? But like, that is garbage.
But it was like, it's not even, it's so deliberately badly designed. Like it as to catch attention. And it just invites mockery in people to do quote tweets. And, it also got me thinking about this in the sense of, so firstly, I think they're the first government to do this. And my question is this going to be a thing we see going forwards? Or is this very much sort of a government that is doing badly, that is desperately trying to do whatever it can to catch attention and to get itself in the news? Is this a sign of desperation, or is this a sign of changing times? Is this going to be governments are going to start using deliberately bad meme templates to grab attention going forwards? Because I don't think I've ever seen this before. There is a history of governments trying to catch attention, but the difference is in the past they've generally been quite good. So like election campaign things, like you have the like Labour isn't working in the long right in the list,
great.
Or like there was one be afraid, be very afraid, and it was just a picture of William Hague with Margaret Thatcher's hair. They're sort of out there and sort of kind of memey and kind of jokey, but they're good. Like they're good.
Crucially,
these are designed to
Ed
deliberately be bad.
Alex Salmond's Pocket.
A classic. Like all of these like classic election.
But they're classics because you could buy those on a poster. You're not buying the pothole on the poster.
This is my point, is that they've almost decided that the meme, the joke, etc., being bad is almost better because you get more attention from it.
Which is probably true.
And this is what I'm saying, is that is that, you know, they're resorting to this because they're doing so badly. They need that extra attention so badly that they're willing to resort to doing, you know, just bad, almost so bad comms that they get attention for it? Or are they doing it because this is going to be a change going forwards?
It's interesting. It's an interesting shift too, because we talked years ago, before he became Prime Minister even, about how Rishi Sunak had actually quite good comms and quite good social media and like actively made like nice content for social that was interesting. And now, I mean, not all of this is actively him. I mean, the pothole thing is, but like it's his government. It's not him as an individual, I suppose. So it's slightly harder to manage. But you've gone from like actually like nice, shareable things to this. But you're right. He could make the slickest graphic in the world. You're probably not going to see it, though. Like, what's the point?
This is exact. So this was my other point as well, is that I do think he still does the slick videos. If you go on his Twitter, you can see, I think, you know, he does these sort of like lo-fi in the background, you know, these quick transitions, very sort of slick, modern videos. They have those, but no one ever talks about it. No, that doesn't come up my Twitter very much at all, and that kind of proves the point in that they're good, but people just kind of don't care. It's overly polished. It's overly well done. It's overly corporate. And I think what they're starting to realise is that doing these bad ones it is just true that it gets them more attention. We're talking about that now. You know, that little. You know, the pothole thing. I remembered that today from back in November. I can't remember another video that he'd done or any other Twitter post he'd done from November. And I remembered it was about potholes. So to an extent, it achieves what they want to achieve. I remember that they wanted to put more funding into getting rid of potholes because of that shit meme. But I can't remember any of the other announcements they made in that month from their slick videos because it's just overly corporate and I'm not going to watch that, obviously.
I wonder if... So this is clearly an attempt to make more shareable content.
Yes.
And their conclusion seems to be that making bad content is shareable. And they're right, it is. The two questions I have off the back of that are, one, just because it's attention-seeking doesn't mean it's effective. Like, you're right, it does, in the individual case, mean that you remember the policy more, say. But does it make you think better or worse of the party as a whole when you see when all you see from the party is a bunch of terrible memes, videos, whatever? Does that make them seem fundamentally less serious and less good?
So my answer to that would be, it depends what your view on Sunak and the Tories are already. If you have a negative view on them, then you're going to see. I think it has a sort of a net zero impact on your view of the party as a whole.
Not net zero,
but what it does do is it means that you remember the policy. So it kind of doesn't matter that you don't like how, like, you're mocking them for the way they're conveying the message, because if you don't like them, you still don't like them. And if you do like them, you're going, oh, it's a bit of a shit meme, but look, they're doing all this pothole stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same with, like, you know, like protest groups when they do, like, you know, like
gluing people to roads.
Yeah, all of that. Like, you criticise the methods, but it gets you talking about what they want you to talk about. And that's, in a weird way, I think it's almost similar to that. You can criticise the methods and everything, and we will sit here and criticise that, but we both know that they're wanting to put more money in potholes.
I do wonder whether it takes away from the vibe of competency a little bit.
Yeah.
You're right. It gets the message out. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Also, the other question I have is, I wonder if, again, they're clearly trying to make content that's shareable. And I wonder if it's a function of the fact that either they're not actually that good at social media, or they just don't have the personalities required, that they can't just make good content for social. Like, you could make content with I mean, I'm not saying Starmer would do any better. In fact, I think he would do just as badly. But, like,
in fact, on that, I know he's the leader of the opposition, so he has, he has less presence and everything. I can't remember one social media post from Starmer.
That is true.
I can remember one, and that was his. It was that one that got him in the news loads, which was about Sunak not wanting to lock up paedophiles or something.
Oh god, but that was bad.
That was really bad.
That was really bad.
Yeah,
I think we made a video about that. Or we did. Podcast or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a factor of, like, if you were actively had a very charismatic, I mean, you had like an Obama style leader who captured attention on his own, had charisma, had presence. I wonder if you just make good content. if you just like
this is what I mean.
You'd have someone be charming and do something nice and whatever. Like, there's tons of good content out there. Just do some of that with the leader.
Also,
but neither Rishi nor Keith could pull it off.
Also, the other point as well is that Johnson is an interesting example as well because he did have the personality.
Yes.
So you could just have him in front of a camera just talking, and it would catch people's attention, and they didn't have to resort to bad
I've seen
memes.
a bunch of Johnson stuff recently.
Yeah, he's like
the
Prime Minister.
The videos of him like shouting out GB News for no reason. Those come.
With
I mean,
his
the reason
ridiculous
is
hair and
like
his shirt and
he's got a new
and-
show coming up or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
but
I
is
see
his
those
personality,
and I
isn't it?
don't
Yeah.
see Sunak still. I mean, I see some of these junk ones, but like I don't see him just talking at me.
So is our conclusion then that it is to an extent effective, but probably undermines credibility, and they are only resorting to it because they don't have the personality of someone like Johnson or Obama.
And I hope I love Johnson and Obama being put in the same
but they're
category.
both charismatic in opposite ways, aren't they?
They're both-
like Johnson is
yes.
charismatic in a sort of goofy way. Obama is charismatic in quite a professional, cool way.
Yeah. You stop and listen for very different reasons.
Yeah, you do. You stop and yes.
I kind of hope that conclusion is correct because that conclusion implies that with better leaders in the future, with younger, more Gen Z, millennial, whatever, people who are more online native, when you get those leaders through, hopefully they'll be better at it and actively do a good job because I don't want this to become normal.
No, I don't. But could you see...
Unless it works, and then they will, but like,
Well,
I don't want it to on a cellular level.
No. And
My soul doesn't want it.
I also, well, I think just one last thing as well. I think it's worth drawing a line and between some of the things that they've done. So at the beginning, I sort of threw Grant Shapps in there. And I actually think the Grant Shapps thing is a good example of this working. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like just for context, he did some kind of veering into comedy skit type.
Comedy's generous, but I know what you mean. It was aiming towards comedy.
It was veering towards comedy in a very slow
It was shooting for
manner.
comedy.
Yeah, it was shooting for comedy. About like when he was Transport Secretary, about trains and all of that. And there was some vague, you know, trying to be a little bit funny in there. But I almost quite liked that in the sense that he still did come across as a bit professional. It wasn't deliberately trying to be bad, it was trying to be good. And it almost was. It was kind of funny that it was close to being good. And I quite liked that. And I think that it got quite a good reception. Whereas these aren't trying to be good. They're actively trying to be bad. And I think that's the difference on this. If it was more of the Grant Shapps style videos,
but that can be
I would
cringe
okay.
too. Like
it can be
the
if it's done
overly
badly.
sincere. Like if they're trying to make it funny and it's not, that's not good either.
And I've seen examples of that, and I have seen examples. I can't remember which ministers, but there was like an energy secretary a while ago who tried to do a Grant Shapps style video of them in a lift, and it was awkward.
Risky. It's very risky.
So yeah, I think
How about we just ban him from social media? Just get him off. Get off WhatsApp. What are they doing on WhatsApp? Come on, lads.
I know.
Who is signing up to get WhatsApp notifications from the British government?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should find out what they're saying.
Well,
Have you? Can I sign up now?
Probably.
Okay, you keep talking.
One other thing was that the Claire Cortino video. So I think we're in agreement. We've sort of agreed that the shit memes could be effective, but damages credibility.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen going forward, and is probably a desperate move by people who don't have any other comms strategy. I would say that the videos can sometimes work. I think the Claire Cortino video I mentioned earlier about her driving to petrol stations, they move on and they talk about like what their favorite music is.
Oh, does it get like
that.
proper carpool karaoke? Are they singing songs?
They
by the
weren't
end?
singing songs, but they were
Thank
saying
God.
like, "I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift," and the other person in the car goes, "Oh, actually, I'm a bigger fan of Beyonce." And it's like, come on, I know.
Stop.
I know. And I think that's an example of them like trying a bit too hard.
Yeah, we don't need that.
And we don't need that.
So the UK government channel is up. You can follow it. Guess how many people have thus far? Admittedly, at this point, it's been live for 2-3 hours. Very well promoted by an incredible meme announcement.
3,000?
Almost bang on, 3,000, yeah. 3,000 people. Their only message is, hey, WhatsApp, we've arrived. From now on, if there's information you need to know from the UK government, we'll WhatsApp you.
We both have more followers than
The UK government. Not on WhatsApp, admittedly,
No,
but
not
we
on
could
WhatsApp.
try. And then they've sent a sticker of the bell ringing, the town crier.
Oh, this is what I mean. This is why I want to talk
Also,
about this.
the
This is
sticker
mad.
has got some reactions, but only 151. And I feel like that,
151?
it's not great engagement
Are
just
you going
yet.
to react to it as well?
I will. I encourage everyone to react to this. They've limited your reactions.
Oh, of course they
you
have.
can only
It's 'cause of
react
the
with thumbs
Discord.
up, heart, laugh,
Do you know why
shock,
they've done this? It's because of what happened with
cry,
the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Also, we had this, sorry, this is so on. You can cut this. The options are thumb, heart, laugh, shock, cry, and the hands together. Do you interpret
Pray.
that as pray or high five?
Pray.
Jan.
Namaste.
It's a namaste.
It's a pray, right?
Namaste, yeah.
Thinks it's a high five, and I just don't think he's right.
There is a high five one, but the emoji is sort of like, it's like that with some lines around it going forward. There is a
When
high
you
five
search
emoji.
it's like an actual debate, I think.
No, well, it shouldn't be.
Prayer or high five? Yeah, no, it's a thing. Maybe this stays in. Tweet us. What do you think it is?
Oh, yeah. I've never seen the high five emoji.
There's a separate high five
No,
emoji.
there's
I'm
not.
right, aren't I?
It's so weird.
What do you mean?
It's like a a hand that is.
The two hands?
No.
I was
The
gonna
two
say,
hands is praise.
That's like praise.
The two hands
yeah.
is praise. We know that.
This one. That one.
No. This
No, that's clapping.
one, the last one.
Can I have a look?
What? I hate that.
Oh no, that is also not what I meant.
Okay.
Though ours will also look different because Android.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Depends what app you're in. In WhatsApp, they look like the iPhone ones for some reason. Anyway, we'll keep you updated on what the UK government's WhatsApp continues to be. And we would like you to tag Ben every time there's a cringy video from anywhere
Yeah.
in the UK government. Literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Local government, local councils.
Yeah.
People running to become
Cringe
part of the
watch.
government.
It's cringe
Yeah, we
watch.
want any cringe videos
Yeah.
at TLDR Ben every time. Like, don't think this is like a 2-week thing. Forever.
Yeah. This is
Even
true.
when eventually Ben will leave TLDR presumably, or TLDR will cease to exist.
Yeah.
Keep tagging him. He'll probably
Yeah.
change his username.
Yeah.
But even still, Ben never wants this to end. So
I'm
let him fulfill his dream.
endlessly interested in the cringe government communication. I want to see how it goes going forward. So if you could, that would be useful. But yeah, we'll keep you updated. Keep an eye on this.
Cringe
yeah.
watch might
Cringe
become
watch.
a regular feature.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, then today, let's run through the world leader leaderboard.
Yes. So I think, should we start with going down?
Let's start with your going down, Ben, which is a hotly contested section. I don't know if we
struggled with
have.
this last time we did it as well.
Before we started, Ben ran through who he'd like to be on the board and who he'd like to move down. And it didn't go very well. So presuming we have the clip, let's run that now. I now understand why you want your person knocked off the board altogether. And I think I'll allow it. We're up there at the moment.
Oh shit! You can see. Sorry, of
Yeah,
course.
it's on your piece of paper.
Yeah.
I'll leave it on the board.
Dead
at the moment.
mate. Oh shit! Please say that.
No, they're not on the board. We've
Oh,
already
for
knocked them off.
fuck's sake! Oh, that's so depressing. Yeah, let me think. There was an offensive. Right. Give me one second. There was some news on Russia, Ukraine, and I want to know which way it's going.
Okay.
And then we'll move.
Whoever.
Whichever one's doing worse, down. I can't believe they're not on the board. That is so. I was so certain they're on the board. Yeah, I'll be moving Zelensky down because the Russians are getting close to taking Avdiivka. No, I'm going to move someone else up. I'm just going to move Zelensky down.
You can't. He's already at the bottom.
Fuck. Oh, that's really depressing.
It's a shame this was. Is this recording?
Yeah.
All of it. Both times he's found out he can't do the person he wants.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Amazing.
We'll circle back to. I might.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle back. We'll circle back.
Okay, Ben. So, having thoroughly considered your options, who is moving down on the world leader leaderboard for you today?
I actually don't know who's going down.
You don't know who's going down.
I don't know who's going
Ben.
down.
Do you want to do up, and then you've got like.
Well, we can do up. My up is definite.
You're going to have to talk and think simultaneously here. There's no respite.
I know this is so stressful.
Okay, who are you moving up?
So I'm moving Modi up, and this is partly because I feel bad that we moved him down when he's been doing badly, and we've never moved him up when something has gone well for him. But
Never see people.
they've basically finished this church, this temple for the Hindu god Ram. And this is an incredibly controversial thing that has happened. Like it's incredibly controversial. The temple has been built on the remains of the old Barbary mosque, which was it was destroyed in 1991 by Hindu nationalists who claimed, who then went on to claim the mosque was actually built on the old Ram temple that was just when it was first built in like the 14th, 15th century. Now, the Indian Supreme Court did a ruling in 2019 saying, yes, it shouldn't have been torn down. Like it was wrong for Hindu nationalists to tear the mosque down. However, we are giving the land permission to build again to Hindus, so they can build a temple there. And that temple has been finished today, and it's been officially opened with Narendra Modi actually there present to open it. It's been a big event. There's been celebrations across the country. People have been watching it. There was even like a sponsored screen in New York's Times Square.
Wow.
Showing it. Like it was a huge event.
Who's sponsoring it?
As in, like,
someone
they were just showing it. Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't like presented by Pepsi.
I find it really interesting that it was privately, because it cost like millions.
Yeah.
This new temple, but it's privately funded, which I just found an interesting point. But this has been like a promise from Hindu nationalists for like decades, effectively, to finish this temple. And it's like this. It's been a huge flashpoint. You know, people died in 1991 after in these protests that tore down the mosque originally. So it's hugely controversial. And obviously, there's a great wealth of feeling, and I don't particularly want to get into it more than this in case people are going to tell me off.
But Modi's moving up because of it, because it's finally finished.
He's finally finished it. He's completed a pledge, and that is in no way a characterisation of saying I think it's right or anything like that. That is just for him personally. This was a pledge that he had, Hindu nationalists have had, and they finished it. So
it's a good moment for him and his.
It's a good moment for him.
And now he's dead in the middle of the board.
He is.
Great company among Trump.
Yeah,
Milei.
The issue is that the other person that I was going to move down, I hope that we showed this clip, but basically, I don't think I'm able to move anyone down because I can't.
The scandal.
I can't.
I'm moving Modi back down for trying to sue us.
What an absolutely meaningless week for the board. If we do that.
No, joking. I'm not going to do that.
I wanted to move Zelensky down as well. That was who I wanted to move down, but he's already at the bottom of the board.
He is.
Basically, the Russians are advancing in Ukraine and taking more territory, which did make me want to put Zelensky down. But
then you wanted to move DeSantis down.
Yeah, I wanted to move DeSantis down.
But he's not on the board anymore.
Ideally, take him off the board.
Which turns out we already did.
We already did. Sorry, Jack. I don't have.
Who can we move down without much reasoning?
Kim Jong-un would be. He's exceptionally high, but he has actually had a pretty good time lately.
Well, can't move him down then.
No, he's made made new rockets and all sorts. I suppose he did. But yeah, actually, we could move Kim Jong-un down.
Why?
Because there were military drills with South Korea recently, and that generally isn't great for him. And he also put into his constitution.
Who did the military drills? South Korea.
I think it was South Korea, the US, and I think it might have even been Japan as well.
This is a very low information conversation at this point.
No, I know. This is why I'm saying.
I can go next door and see if anyone has a good idea.
Yeah, but if we are, can we cut this and pretend that I know what I'm doing?
She's too busy to come through and tell us this.
Yeah.
But from Georgina.
Yeah.
It's her first. This is an inaugural podcast experience. Coming through me onto the wall.
Yeah.
We're moving down Olaf Scholz.
Olaf Scholz.
He currently has the work. Huh? Fucks.
This is great.
That's the end of the episode. That's the end of the episode. He's already at the bottom.
It's so
Can you show that? Yes, sir. Well, the logic was going to be, we're not moving anyone down, but I mean, to end the episode with something at least. He has the lowest approval rating of any chancellor since 1997. One of his coalition partners recently had a vote on whether they should leave the coalition. The coalition is more fragmented than ever. Obviously, we had the protests over the weekend, which were kind of vaguely on his side, or at least against the AfD, which is the opposite of him, I suppose. But the fact that even were protests shows the weakness of kind of his party, his ideology against the AfD. So that's kind of a negative too. That's the argument for moving him down. But we can't. So we tried 3 people. We failed 3 times. I think we should put ourselves on the board and move us down at this stage.
I agree.
That's it.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
I'm sorry.